What's up, it's Cody, welcome back to the channel. Now today, I'm gonna give you some tips to keep in mind before you hit publish on your next social media post. Social media can be incredibly stressful, and I'm not just talking about the latest celebrity Twitter war or your wacky relative's Facebook rant. With so much content out there and so many platforms to choose from, promoting your music on social media can start to feel pretty overwhelming really quick. And there really isn't a right way to do social media. That's kind of a trap that a lot of people are in, thinking that there's only one right way to do it. Just like there isn't one way to create a great song, there's no single best way to have a successful social media strategy. Although there are a few best practices, so here are a few tips and tricks that should get you on the right path to more engagement and more likes. And speaking of likes, if you want some good karma, be sure to drop a like down below. It really helps out me and my channel, and it'll come right back towards you and get you more likes on your next post. So if you could just do me a huge favor, and please hit the little thumbs up button until it turns blue down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. So thank you in advance. All right, tip number 1 is find your platform. Selecting a platform that's right for you can be a little tricky. If you're more comfortable with eye-catching visuals, Instagram might be the way to go. But if you're more into wisecrack and bantering with fans, then Twitter's probably the place for you. Now, while it is important to keep an occasional presence on all your social media platforms, I think it's more important that you really hone down and focus in on one platform that you're most comfortable with. For myself, my primary source of social media is Instagram, and that's because that's what I'm the most comfortable with. But that doesn't mean that I don't use other social media platforms. I use Facebook as a great platform for new releases and sharing inclusion on high-profile playlists, and then using Twitter as a place for the occasional odd thought. Now, this has worked really well for me, and it's allowed me to narrow my focus down to just one social media platform that I know really well. So instead of trying to master all social media platforms at once, I recommend just picking one and sticking with it and really trying to get as good as you can at knowing that platform inside and out. All right, tip number 2, not everything you post has to be permanent. Some posts are made to self-destruct. With the rise of Snapchat and Instagram stories becoming increasingly popular, these are posts that are meant to be short-lived as they expire the next day. If you're keen to post an image but don't want it to stay on your page indefinitely, posting it as a story complete with captions and stickers that can add extra pops of personality might be the way to go. It'll get those fans who are following you extra engaged, especially if you use videos to offer sneak peeks into your process, like snippets of upcoming songs or clips from the studio. Quality over quantity is important with every social media post, but the more casual nature of Instagram stories can allow artists to keep the high-quality content for their main feed while using their stories to be a little more lighthearted and personal with their fans. All right, tip number 3 is to keep it short. Twitter's 280-character limit forces users to be concise, but text on Facebook and Instagram should be crafted in a similar manner. Book-length captions are sometimes going to result in users just continuing to scroll through. While some moments and milestones will require longer captions, for the most part, keeping your content short and always having direction will help keep fans on your following list. Tip number 4 is to keep it fresh. Every so often, it can be a good idea to reboot your social media presence. Republic Records once did this with its social media account back in 2016, entirely reskinning it and going with a new identity and a new image. And this worked so well for them. Their page got an increase in followers by 71%, and it resulted in substantial upticks in likes and comments. Applying a refresh to your page before a new album cycle can really help to pique fans' interest. We've seen this with a ton of artists in the past, including Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, and 21 Pilots, and these have all been incredibly successful social media campaigns for them. So don't be afraid to retire that old content and go with a new look and a new approach to your social media accounts. All right, tip number 5 is to keep it fun. If you're pressed for time, a playful short post showing your day-to-day, like laying down some tracks, going for a coffee, or even heading out on a drive, might be a good way to gap the time before your next artfully arranged Instagram post. As an independent artist, there are moments that you can really maximize without a lot of effort or time put into them. Just by showing a little bit into your personal life and sharing your passion for your music is going to be a great way to engage with your audience. All right, tip number 6 is to remember the details. Social media might offer the illusion of a casual glimpse into an artist's lives, but there are steps that need to be followed before hitting that publish button on a post. A lot of times, the best practices aren't being implemented. I'll see a great piece of content go out saying, "My new music is coming out Friday," but without linking it to the music or a playlist itself. Making sure that the best practices are being followed might mean creating a short video saying, "My new track is out on New Music Fridays. Thank you so much. Check it out in the link below." And then people have a video that they can engage with and a link that they can easily follow to go find your music. All right, tip number 7 is to stay up to date. In order to reach fans accordingly, you might need to make sure that you have a creative strategy in play, and to remember that the techniques that you used 6 months ago might no longer be relevant. All social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok use some sort of algorithm to help give their users the best experience they can. But these platforms are constantly changing their algorithms to help improve the user experience. And these changes can present a bit of a challenge for some artists, especially the ones who are used to doing posts in a certain way. We really don't receive many clues on how these social media platforms go about their algorithms, and with them changing all the time, it's almost entirely up to the artist or the publisher to figure out not necessarily how to beat the system, but how to make sure that their posts are optimized for their fan base. So make sure you're doing your best to stay up to date with all the changes and checking in on your insights to see what's performing best for you. This way you'll be able to optimize your engagement for your fan base. All right, tip number 8, and I think this one is so important when it comes to social media, is don't try to force a certain version of yourself to exist. Now the question is, which ways of engaging the public are going to be rewarding to you while still helping to blossom your career? How much are you willing to share? What topics are you willing to be talking about? The expectation of being casual on social media can also be very uncomfortable for artists who want to present a more stylized version of themselves. Or for artists who want to keep their private life hidden from the prying eyes of their fan, it can also result in unfortunate flare-ups with users who reply in the comments. All right, and tip number 9 is to check in with yourself often. It's a balancing act. You really have to be reflective about it and continuously think about what you're comfortable with. The ever-shifting nature of social media means that at times it seems like people are largely operating on instinct. For every person who's really good at something and gets a lot of success while doing it, there's somebody else doing something very similar and not as successful in doing it. You really just have to look at yourself and be your own judge of what you're comfortable with. Well, these have been a few tips that should help you a lot with your upcoming social media posts. But it is important to remember that while having a good online social media presence is very important, nobody necessarily breaks through just from social media alone. We are musicians and the music is the #1 focus. So while it is important to maintain a strong-looking Instagram account, make sure that it's not your priority and it's only a part of the bigger process. And as always, if you did find a video like this helpful, if you could please do me a favor and just hit the like button down below. Seriously helps me out so much, so thank you in advance if you can do that. And if you want to stay up to date with more great music-related videos like this one, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below so that you don't miss out on any more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.